Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these adorable Happy Cherries. I just think they're cute. These are, the cherries themselves are bigger than the peas that I had. I know people were turning these into cherries already, but they are a little bit bigger, so they just kind of fit in a better size with the food, having it like this. So I'm going to show you how to make these. They're adorable. And of course, there's no wrapped bands besides the cheeks and the eyes if you need to do those. That's always a good thing. They do take quite a few bands though, just to kind of get the solid state of them and to get the nice stem on them so that they stand up when you're looking at them, which I can't really show you. But in total, it's about 380 bands. The cherry itself is 134 for each one, and then you'll need, I guess, 2 to 6 black bands, so one for the mouth on each one, and then the eyes if you're going to do those in bands, or you'll need 2 beads per cherry. I use 7mm pony beads, and then of course the cheek bands, whatever color you want for those. The stem is 40 bands in total. The leaves are 60 in total. You can, of course, to save bands, you could try just making one cherry if you wanted to do that as well. But I like them this way, so I'm going to show you how to connect them together and add them all up. So, see the eyes, if you're going to do those, you'll need, well, not if you're going to do them, but depending on how you do them, you'll either need a black band and 2 of whatever color your cherries are going to be. This time I'm going to kind of make a black cherry. But you'll take, if you're going to use the bands anyways, take a band, wrap it around your hook once into a figure 8, grab both of them, wrap them around again, take 2 bands and pull them through. So that would be an eye band. And then the cheeks are made the exact same way, you just would use a pink or whatever color you want the cheeks to be. If you're using beads, craft wire, floss, thread, anything that you can put 2 bands into. You can use a bread tie from the kitchen probably. Then take your bead, put both ends of the wire into your bead, pull it down, and there you have a threaded bead. So you'd need 4 of these, however you did them, if you're going to do both cherries. And then the 4 cheek bands. So, it's all in one loom again. Trying to keep them all in one loom. We'll start with the cherries first. I'm working on the wrong end of the loom. And we're going to be working on these 8 pins right here. We're going to start by making kind of a large starburst that we need to connect together. So from the 2nd pin up, we're going to go over to the 3rd pin and then kind of come around in a starburst half, I guess, from that center pin. These are double banded, sorry, 2 bands. Like that. Now we're going to move up to this next pin up here. And have a band come across this way. Then we'll kind of continue our starburst around the other side. Like that. That's what we have now. Then we're going to take 2 bands and wrap it around one of these pins. I'm going to use this one first. Wrap it around probably 3 times for rainbow loom bands, or maybe 4 times for other brands that are kind of stretchier. You don't want them to be super tight because we need to stretch it up to this other end cap to loom these out, but you want it to be fairly tight so it holds the top of the cherry. So stick your hook in that center, and you're going to grab the top two bands and just pull them back towards themselves like that, and then go all the way around doing the same thing. Like that. Now we need to take this end cap and stretch it up over this pin up here. If you have a metal hook, you should be fine to just grab the bands and pull them up yourself. If you do not, I would use your fingers to do so, because it would be not good for a plastic hook. So it's pretty tight, so we're just going to kind of go along and do this side fast. Go in through here again and pull up the bands around. If you have problems where something sticks as you're doing this, after you pull it up, just run your hook around the outside, around that center, and that should loosen up so you can get the rest of them out. So like that. Our next row is going to be one band doubled. We're going to go around like we have been doing with the other Happy Foods. So one band doubled and two bands up. Next one is one band doubled, and two bands, one band doubled, two bands. So I think you kind of get we're alternating as we go around. So this is a doubled, and then two bands. And I know they're not perfectly round, but I think that they're cute the way they are. So I heard that about my peas, that they weren't completely round, but I think they look pretty good. So now what we're going to do is go around and loop over the bottom four bands all the way around. And you can start anywhere you'd like, but just the bottom four bands. And get stuck. Like that. Oops. Just hit my light. So we have one row. There should be four bands left on your pins around. And once we get the next rows on, then this will loosen up and it won't be quite so tight. So next row is just two bands all the way around. Like that. Then once again you're going to go and flip over the bottom four over the top of the pin. like so. Now it should be a little bit better. You'll be able to push these down farther. Our next row is again going to be 2 bands all the way around the outside. Oops. Like that. And again, flip over the bottom 4. Like that. Push them down again. This is going to be our eye row, so you want your beads on your 2 bands or the wrapped band on 2 bands. We're going to make his face right here. Take them and stretch them between these 2 pins. One there and one over here. Like that. And then the rest of the way around is just going to be 2 bands. I realize that I always call all my creations boys. And I think it's because I have 3 boys. Or had 3 boys for so long before I had a daughter, so everything was always boys. Try and get into the girl swing of things now. So once you have that, we're again going to flip over the bottom 4. Like that. 4 bands left all the way around. Next row will be cheeks. And I actually forgot to make mine ahead of time, so you can watch me. 1 band on, wrap it around, both bands back over. Two bands through. And put them right below the eyes. And the other one. Then once again, the rest of the way around will be 2 bands. Like that. Then again, the bottom 4. And this should pop up a little bit in the center. My pin bar doesn't come loose. Like that. Push it down. Except for that front one, we'll put the mouth on. Black band. Wrap it around your hook once. Put your hook in through the front bands. Take them off the pin. Slide that back black band down, and then replace the bands back on the pin. Like that. So the next row is going to be just 2 bands all the way around. Like that. And again, flip the bottom 4. Four bands left on all the pins. Next row is again 2 bands all the way around. We're getting there to almost being done, so with this cherry anyways. Like so. Flip the bottom 4. This part, of course, could probably be made on the monster tail. I guess I just prefer doing it on the loom because the leaves are made on the loom anyways. And plus, not everybody has a monster tail. Four bands left on all the pins. So this row will be our doubled row. So 1 band doubled all the way around. Like so. And again, flip over the bottom 4. Like so. So now, push everything down. We're going to close this off by threading through the pins, or the bands on the pin. I'm using what'll be 4 bands to do this with. You can either do the little over-under trick, or put 2 bands on your hook, take another 2 bands, pull them through, catch the other side, and then make a slip knot, like that. So that'll be our threading band. I'm going to put one end on my finger. And starting on the back away from the eyes, I'm going to stick my hook in through the bands here, pull them off the loom, hook my threading band, or bands, they would cooperate, there we go, and I'm going to turn my hook, and if you point it down, then you can pull it through these bands a little easier, and pull them through. Grab your threading band again, hook back in through the bands around. You can go to the right or the left, just depends which way you're comfortable with. Pull those bands up, put your threading band back on your hook, pull them through again, and just keep doing that all the way around the cherry. Try to stay low to the loom so that the cherry doesn't pop off. It's on there pretty secure because of the double bands, but you never know. It's actually stuck on the pin bars. And one more to go. Pull it through. And you want to tie this off tight. And so we need to get this kind of section over here pulled around to the other side. That's why I double banded, because sometimes pulling does not go well with bands. It is tight, and it's mainly because that we're pulling through double bands. If you have an issue where you can't seem to pull any tighter, whether you're worried about breaking your bands, but you still have this little piece that you need to tighten up, if you stick your hook in between the bands, in between the doubled bands, and grab that threading band and just start pulling it tight around the bottom. That will help close it up, and you won't be pulling quite so hard on the band. So now you look at this and go, it's not a cherry, it's weird looking and tall, and so I'm going to make a little adjustment and squish him. I found it kind of helps to get the bands to the shape you want, is if you can kind of roll them. I think I kind of already rolled them, so. But the bands will kind of roll out into the circly shape. Kind of, you can dent them in pretty good, that'll help too. It just takes a little bit of finagling to get it to be nice and round. A lot of times it's just the bands got tight in a certain spot, and that's why it's not kind of going as round as you would like it to. But that looks a lot better. I like that. We want to hide the tail. So I'm going to stick my hook in through the top here. Grab these bands and just pull them inside. Like that. So now you're going to want to pause the video and, or I guess, go back and make a second cherry if you're going to do both of them. I figure this tutorial will probably be long enough without me repeating the whole process again for you to watch straight through, but if you would pause it, or I guess you're not going to pause it, rewind it to watch how to make the cherry again so you can have two of them, that would be fabulous. And then when you get here again, we will start making the leaves and the stems. So I'll see you in a minute, hopefully. Okay, so we'll do the leaves next, just so we have those prepared. And they're pretty simple. We're on the loom. They're going to be double banded. I'm now on the red arrow side of the loom. 2 bands. I'm going to go off to the right, up 1, and then up, but kind of a long stretch to the center pin up here, like that. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So over to the left, up, and a long stretch. Then we're going to, from the center pin, the second pin up, we're going to come back towards the first pins on the outside. These are still 2 bands. Same thing on the next one. Like that. Then we're going to go up the center in a chain, 2 bands still. And just go up to the end, so 3, up 3. Then you want an end cap here. If you're using Rainbow Loom brand bands, then it's probably just twice around. It'll be tight enough. If you're using anything else that's kind of got a stretch to it, I'd do 3 times. So you see how many times I did that? These are not Rainbow Loom bands. So we'll turn our loom around, go in through that end cap, grab the top 2 bands that are part of the chain, just 2. Or top, however many get stuck on your hook. Top 2. Then go in through again, grab just the top 2. And one more time. Like so. And we're going to go in through where we kind of created a end cap or cap band right here and loom out the 2 bands to the side. Like that. And the same thing up here. And we'll come back to our end cap and we'll go up each side. Like that. So now I'm going to take 2 bands. I'm going to pull them up through this last cap. And yes, I know I could have done that on the loom, but I kind of forgot about it, even though I reminded myself earlier to do that. So pull up 2 bands through the open spot, put both ends on your hook, And you can pull this off. Like so. You have a nice little cherry leaf. But you'll need to have 2 of these, at least for the way that I did it. You could always just have 1, I suppose, too. So again, you're going to need to pause the video and make another leaf. When you're done, just set them on the loom on the side to wait for when we need them again. So if you want to go back and rewatch how to make the second leaf, that would be great. And then we'll start on the rest of this. Okay, so next is the stem. And how we're going to do that is after we've all kind of squished this into a lovely rounder shape here. Not totally round, but roundish. We're going to kind of distort them again. And what we're going to do is on the top of the head by the eyes. If you push this up, you can see we have that starburst in the center. Taking your hook and kind of going across with his eyes. You're going to go underneath where the cap band is and try to get not snag any of the starburst if you can help it, although it won't matter a whole lot if you do. But you're going to go under one side and come out on the other side, under the cap band. Like that. Move you over. So it looks like that. So this is where it'll get a little hard. 2 bands. These are caramel, I think, from the newer caramel, because the old caramel before it's discontinued was a different caramel. It's 2 bands, and you are going to double them on your hook, like that. And it gets tight, so just kind of hang on to them as best you can. You're going to pull these through the top of the head, right underneath, and then hook both sides. And though I probably will be bad at doing it, try and make sure that your bands have an even stretch on both sides. I tend to stretch more on this side over here than this side, which kind of makes, we have to end up fixing those on the end, because otherwise these stems, they kind of twist around, and so it's kind of hard to, this won't stay up straight, so we'll have to fix them, so be prepared for that when you kind of pull it off and go, that's not going to connect together right. So like that, and on this particular cherry, we need to do that exact same thing 9 more times, so a total of 10 doubled bands pulled through your hook. So that's 1, 2 more bands, double them, and pull them through. I'm using 2 bands because the other, just using 1 band didn't really hold up straight enough to keep the leaves up. So 3. Eight. 9 and 10. So you can tell how I've distorted them for pulling them through. I'm not going to worry about it yet as far as fixing it. And then the stem actually will push back down into the top of the cherry head. Better? I'm just going to shove this one down for now. So, this cherry, same thing. Pull it up. Till you get that starburst showing. Hook underneath. Not cooperating. There we go. 1. And 2. So this time, pull up 9 for starters, and then we will get the rest of this together. So pull that double band through the top. So that's 1. So I have 8 more to go. And this is 9. So that's 9. Squish him back down where he belongs. So now they should both be facing this way, but they've kind of turned themselves around. Don't worry about that. I'm kind of intentionally not really watching myself because I think that this will happen to other people and I want to be able to fix it, so, or show you how to fix it. So now on our hook we have all, or you need to put these back on your hook, just so that if you've taken it off, what you'll do is you'll pop it up and look for, like here's the eye, and then see how you put your first band in there, across this way, and follow this line all the way up so that it's on one side of your hook and the other bands from the other cherry match it. So here's the front. When I pull it straight, the front by the eyes comes straight up and I see it on the top of my hook. And then the same thing on the other side. Because if you have it twisted, when you pull straight, you'll see like this band comes up and it'll be on, like on the wrong side. You want them to both be on the front side, I guess, so you can see them. And once they're both on your hook, two bands again, double it, and pull it through both cherries and back on your hook, like so. So now we need our leaves, and what we're going to do is to make this easier, I'm just going to pull a couple bands through the top of this as a placeholder for a minute. So I'm going to put this on my loom. So you have your leaves made. Actually, I have one on one hook. Okay. So you have your leaves made. It's got the 2 bands that are pulled up through. You want to put that on your hook, kind of up high. Then we want to get the cherries back on. So this part wouldn't matter a whole lot as far as front or back, but I'm just trying to be consistent here. So we need to put our hook back through our double banding. And if you need to, because it is tight and you want to make sure you get all the bands and don't lose anything, take your bands that you pulled through, stretch it on your loom. Then you can pull down and slide your hook through that way. And just make sure you have everything before you let go. You kind of peek underneath there. You probably can't see, but you peek underneath there, you can see that I can see my band wrap through, so I know I have everything back on my hook. So now we have a leaf, the double bands for the cherry, and you want the other leaf as well. Like that. Or rather, like that. Now, last step for finishing this guy for the most part. 2 bands, and you're going to pull them through everything on your hook in your leaf color. I'm not doubling them or anything like that, I'm just pulling them straight through. And back on the hook, and then make a slip knot. Like so. So, as you can see, my tops are all twisted and not straight. If it turns out that your twisting looks fine, and it still does, like this is pretty cute this way, except for my leaves are kind of not in front the way I'd want them to be. But if it's, you're going to have to do some kind of fixing of the bands here in this stem. So if you look at what I have here, these are kind of nice and loose, and they're kind of flip it over here to the other side, or like particularly right here. You can really see how tight I got compared to over here. So all you need to do is take your hook. You can see it, what I'm doing. Take your hook, stick them underneath, stick your hook underneath those bands, and just pull them back out to the other side. It helps if you can kind of stretch it out so you can see. But just stick it under the tight side, unstretch it, and as you do that, the bend in it should start to disappear so that you can, so it does have, either stays up straight or twists the way you like it. There isn't really any magic formula. Unfortunately, it's kind of like my hot air balloon where it works or you struggle with it and then get mad. But I know that it just takes a little more work to get those bands pulled out. So they're not so tight on one side. I contemplated doing this on the loom, which usually ends up in straighter rows, but because I wanted the 2 bands for the stem so that it was stiffer to hold up the leaves, I think it would have been too tight on the loom. I don't want anybody's loom to break. That would not be good. But just keep loosening that up until it gets to the position you want it to be. And I will of course fix this before, I'll probably fast forward through it as I fix this, but I just want to be able to show you that it's possible so that you will do it too. Okay, so you can't really see it all that well, but I kind of like how they turned out this way, with how I've moved the bands around. Their faces are together, and the leaves it's kind of different position, but I think it's cute this way. So when I put the pictures on my Instagram, then you'll kind of see what I mean by that. But it does take a little bit of work to get those bands to go where you want, so that the faces are still facing forward, and you can see both the smiles and they're standing up. So, I mean, that's probably the only, I guess, irritating part is just fixing the stems. And now that I have this all where I want it, this tail too that we have, I just kind of flip over to the back side of the leaf, and I'll weave my hook in through some of the bands back here. Grab that tail and just pull it up through like this, so kind of get everything in there till it's hidden pretty well. And then you have adorable little cherries. I think they're cute. These are different brand types, so you can see the difference in the size as well. So it all makes a difference. Rainbow loom, not rainbow loom, rainbow loom, rainbow loom, rainbow loom, not. So I mean, it all kind of makes a difference in the size and the shape and things like that. That's why I kind of touched on earlier where people said that my peas weren't all round and stuff, and if I make a design perfect for a particular kind of brand, then if somebody else does it with a different brand, it might not quite work out for them the same way. And I think I'd try and pick the best shape that I possibly can for the design. That way it's easy for everyone to do it, and they're happy with the results in the end. It's the same thing as like using jelly bands for some designs, and they absolutely don't work for other designs. Just kind of that factor, I guess. But I definitely hope that you like these. I think they're adorable. After I made the peas in the pot and everybody seemed to really love them, I'm kind of nervous about putting out new stuff because I'm afraid it won't be quite as good or liked as much. But hopefully you like these as much. I definitely have a lot more in store. This is kind of a prototype. You can see a little bit over here. You can't see all of it, but that's in the works, and a couple more things that I definitely have actually already made, but I need the tutorials on. So there's definitely more of these cute little happy foods coming. I'm loving all the pictures that I'm seeing and the creativity there. Some of them are pretty adorable on my Instagram page, which is @craftingfantastic. I'd love to see your pictures as well. And of course, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll be the first ones to know that I have a new tutorial out. I get a lot of people asking me how often I'm going to post these. Every 2 to 3 days, I think, will probably be where I'm at. I have family obligations, I have children, and other things that I have to do. And I usually loom after they've all gone to bed, so it kind of limits either looming time or sleeping time, so somewhere in there I kind of have to make a choice. So, but I'll definitely have more of these out. I have quite a few awesome suggestions for people, and just ones that I've been kind of thinking about on my own. I have a little idea board that I'm putting them all on, so everything that I read in the comments, I have been taking those suggestions and making sure to write them down so that I can hopefully get to them as well. It's just a lot of the inspiration for something that'll come to me, and that's when I work on it. It's not that I'm trying to ignore anybody's suggestion or anything like that. It's just I have to have the inspiration to come up with the right shape and put the bands in the right places and all that good stuff. So, but thank you again for watching. I definitely appreciate it. I'm definitely going to have more of the happy foods. I'm really enjoying making these. I still have a few bracelets I'm working on as well, but kind of my focus right now will be on these for a while, till everybody tells me that they're tired of them, they don't want them anymore. So then I'll find something different that hopefully people will enjoy, because that's why I do it. I enjoy it, and I enjoy that other people enjoy it, I guess. So enough rambling. Thank you very much for watching. I will have more for you soon.